Story time. Who got the tea? Who got the tea? Yeah. Story time. Who got the tea? She got the tea. Yeah. Anything you need to know. Story time. Just tune into the show. Story time. Story time.
Hi, I wanted to try to get you on there early so nobody had to wait. But thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks for asking me.
Of course. I hope it's better weather where you are because it's cold and rainy and crappy here.
Oh, yeah, girl, it's sunny. It's hot and sunny.
Makes me feel so sad. You already got a question. I'm like, we haven't even started the interview, but somebody wanted to know when the shot coming back on.
Oh, July 5th.
Okay, good.
We got a while.
Yeah, must have we got a while. But so thanks everyone who's starting to join in. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into the interview. But thank you, Birgundi, for sitting down. This is like the beginning of season 2 for me. You are my very first Instagram live, so thanks so much for now. I was like, who do I want to be my first person I chat with? And I was like, let's see if I can see if Birgundi's free. So thanks so much. Normally when I do my interviews, I like to kind of do like some icebreakers and get everybody kind of like talking about their history. And then we'll do this a little different, but I won't give it all away. So we'll start with here. So
Okay.
if you had to, a light-skinned man or a dark-skinned man? I know my answer.
You know, it's a lot of stereotypes that come with light-skinned men.
Mm-hmm.
I think all Black men are beautiful.
Oh, the politically correct answer.
But
You
honey,
don't wanna
I
say it,
prefer a nice brown chocolate.
Yes.
But you know,
I would
either
actually
way.
go with the same.
Okay.
I don't know what happens. I don't really feel like these chocolate men like me very much, but I mean, I like them. They just don't like me back, apparently. This is how I keep ending up with these caramel and super light men, but it's definitely not my first choice. Ooh, somebody said we're not looking for safe answers.
I know. I gave you my answer. I'll go with the chocolate.
Okay, so if there had to be anybody right now that you would like want to collab with on a show or a movie, who would it be?
I love Viola Davis. That's like my ultimate. Y'all, if I ever work with her, like, you can't tell me nothing. I made it, honey.
You made it now. What you mean you can't tell me nothing?
Viola Davis. I say Viola Davis.
And why?
I think she's just raw, and I love when a person can be versatile, but they can bring themselves to everything that they do, even if the role is completely different from the one before.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I want to let everybody at home know if they don't already know anything about you. I know I have a small part of when I knew you in your life, but I want to go back to like young Birgundi. So tell me like how you got interested in acting, what your childhood was like, and kind of really when you really first fell in love with this whole being an actress.
Okay. So I come from a big family. Like, we all lived in one house, and we used to just entertain each other, like singing, dancing. We used to make videos. I see Toy is up here. She knows. I used to make her record me. Like, I know one time, for some reason, I was like in love with P. Diddy when I was little. So I dressed up and I pretended to be his wife, and I made her record me doing an interview and have her ask me questions about like what it's like being P. Diddy's wife. I don't know, it's crazy, but
And what was your answer? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. Those were the types of things that we used to do together, or we used to do for each other. But I come from a big family of singers and actors. My grandma was a musical major, and my aunt went to Juilliard. So I would go see her plays. Like, we would travel to go see her perform. And I just fell in love with it from then. There was a contest called the Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Blue Box Kid Contest, and I entered it when I was 8, and I won. And from then on, I just knew, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
Mm-hmm. So after like that, were you like in a high school? Were you kind of into this? I definitely know you were into it in college, but like, how was like high school?
Oh yeah, my whole life. Like my mom put me in ballet and acting when I was in the 2nd grade. I took lessons, middle school, took classes, performances, high school classes, performances, and then, like, as you know, college.
So let's jump into college.
Oh,
So
Lord.
where exactly did you
I was thinking earlier, like, you remember being in the classroom with Professor Ray? Girl.
Oh, God. R.I.P. Professor Ray. Honestly, I don't understand how any of us made it through that class because I don't feel like traditionally he taught any of the curriculum. Like,
no, we were learning like life skills. We were learning how to stand up for ourselves. We were learning how to fight through situations. Like, girl, I didn't learn a thing about
and how to read
art or
always had something smart to say to someone. Luckily,
yes.
He loved me. I didn't have any of those dramas. That was only for you theater majors, but for me, he was like, "Oh, Catori, you're fine. You're good." I was like, "Great," because I don't got time for this stressing. Okay, I'm not trying to be an actor. Don't do this to me.
Yeah, we had like a love-hate thing going on, but I learned so much from him. Like, even to this day, I can still hear his voice when I'm trying to encourage myself or remind myself, like, toughen up. I still hear his voice. So
people who don't know, where did you go to school and what was
I went to Howard University. HU.
Sure did. And your major was?
Okay, first I was a dance major.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to musical theater.
And what made you make that move?
Honestly, I wanted to do musical theater from the beginning. I was just really scared. Like, it was just so much. You had to go in, you had to dance, you had to sing, you had to act. And I knew I was good on the dancing part. I was like, I've always been really comfortable, like, moving and using my body. The acting and the singing part, I was just really hard on myself. And I was like, I'd rather just take the chance and try out for one thing than try out for 3 things. And it was the biggest mistake that I ever did, selling myself short, because I got into the dance program and I wasn't happy and I wasn't feeding the other parts of me that wanted to sing and act. So I left and joined musical theater.
And how would you say it went after that? Because by the time that I got to the theater department for my minor and started seeing you were in everything. I felt bad for everybody else. Because every single time you audition, I was like, "Oh, Birgundie's in this too? Oh, okay."
Oh. No, I feel like it was the best decision I ever made. Like, I think the reason that I kept, like, getting things was because I was so happy to do the work. Because, like I said, I sold myself short and I didn't think I could do it, so I just settled for dance. And that was actually hard because I didn't really want to be there. Then when I went to musical theater, I was so happy to use all the parts of me that I knew I could use, that it was like, okay, we know that if Birgundi does this, she's going to give it her all. I think it was more so that they trusted me, that I was going to put in as much work as possible, and then I was going to do it, thankfully.
So what would you say was, like, your favorite part about it? Because I know you're saying, like, you weren't, happy because you weren't able to use all the parts of you, but what was, like, the best part about being in musical theater for you?
Definitely performing. And it was so many moments where, like, I would be on stage and, like, the first 2 nights, it'd be like a high note. And I'd be like, oh, shoot, I got to hit this note. I hope this note comes out. But by, like, the 5th night, the note just flowed out easily. And just having those moments of, like, oh, I'm growing. I'm getting better. I'm getting more comfortable. Like, clocking the moments where, like, you're getting better. I think that's what school is, like, all about. When it comes to going to school for art, you got to grow fast, So I think that was the best part for me, was just growing and being able to grow in the midst of a performance. Because you can grow in class, you can grow while watching other people do things. But being on stage, I think that's the best way to learn and the best way to monitor your growth.
And guys, for you that's continuing to join right now, we are taking questions as we go through this interview, so don't feel like you can't jump in. And hi to people who keep saying hi. So would you say, what was, like, your favorite role when you were there? Because I only got to see, like I said, a small amount of them from when class, and I was slaving during CAT. So, like, what actually was your, like, actual favorite role that you did thus far? Well, if you
I can't answer that.
Okay, what was the one you felt like was, like, maybe, like, the hardest for you, or, like, the one that you really had to get into the role when you were at Howard the most? I guess you said you can't pick a favorite.
Okay, Bubbly Black Girl was the one that was the hardest for me. It was the one that I had to do the most work.
Mm-hmm.
I was on stage the whole time. It was like an hour and a half, and I never left stage. People were like, she can't do it. She can't sing well enough to do it. She can't. So it was like all this outside stuff, and every night I had to go on stage. Like earlier that day, hearing somebody say she can't do it, then I had to go on stage and do it.
I heard a lot of chatter about Bubbly haters. I heard a lot of chatter about that, honestly. And was that like, how was that for you? And then we got a question about when did you actually get into acting, at what age? So we can go back after you answer.
You said how was like the chatter? How was that for me?
Yeah, I mean,
it was hard.
You know that Howard is very cliquey. For those who don't know, we can talk about because we went there. But how was that for you?
Yeah, it was hard. It starts to get to the point where like you kind of start thinking like, well, why they saying like maybe I can't, you know what I mean? And feeling bad because other people wanted it really bad and didn't get it. But it just made me tough because the industry, you know, people talk, you know, in the industry. So even now, like, I don't care about what nobody got to say. Like, you could tell me right now I can't do something and I will still do it and give it my all. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
That was just a time in my life where I had to learn, like, to block the haters out. And that a lot of times if somebody's telling you they can't do it, like, they're projecting something that they feel on themselves and maybe, like, they don't want you to do it.
I feel like that probably was more than you being unable to. Because just from, like, the short time that I saw, even, like, I mean, like I said, the roles were so vast different. Bubbly was more fun because it was a show, but, like, the very serious action ones, I was like, oh, my God, she's so good. And they're like, duh.
Thank you.
I don't know. So I'm like, yeah. And they want to know, again, someone asked, when did you first start? What was the age you got into acting?
Okay, so I did the Blue Box Kid when I was 8. And that was just like, that just happened out of nowhere. And I felt like, okay, I got something good. So now let me like get serious and take classes. So I went to John Casablanca. Mm-hmm. And that's where I started taking my first class. It was like, at that point, I was like 9.
Okay. So hopefully answer the question. She was about 9. So yeah. We're back at Howard. So for those who don't know, Birgundi is a mommy.
Hey, Jet! Hey, Jet! Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Birgundi is a mom. So, like, let's talk about that and why you were at, you know, Howard and how that was. Because for a while, you actually kind of took a step back from, you know, actually doing that. And was that a choice that the teachers made or you kind of made just while you were going through everything?
No, nobody made that choice. I was still auditioning for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing came to me that was important enough to like actually do while I was trying to be a mom.
Okay.
It was like, I'm not gonna give this my time when I got a whole baby at home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was great. Even that made me tough. Like I was still going to dance class. I was still going to my voice lessons. You know. Mm-hmm. What was the question?
Honestly, you answered it. Because I was just kind of asking how was the experience for you, you know, because once you were pregnant, like before that, you were pretty much, like I say, in everything. It kind of took a little bit of a step back. So just
well, I was actually pregnant and Bubbly.
Yes, I knew that. So I didn't know you were pregnant then. But just to have enough sense to be able to do some math, I was like, oh, well, look at that. As busy and all as draining as Bubbly was, and you were ready to have a baby. So again, commend you for that, because
thank you.
Oh, child, I don't have no kids right now. The thought just stresses me out. Like all of you moms right now, I'm an aunt right now, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna love on you because I don't know if I can do this right now. That level of stress, but yeah. So what's the Bubbly like your senior year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was your senior year. So okay, Howard is done. You've done a great job here, and now so I'll tell you this, and then we can jump into your story. When I turned on the side, I didn't remember really seeing too much. You know how like the first few weeks of season 1 didn't show too much. Mm-hmm. I remember the first scene I see your butt. I said, "Oh my God!"
Let me tell you, I had classmates in my DMs talking about, I can't believe you did that. I had a teacher call me. Girl, and was like asking all these questions, like, and our family members, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that. It's only, you know, and I mean, I don't know.
Actors,
conversation to have with, huh?
I said actors, aren't they always kind of naked here and there if they have to be from time to time?
I mean, yeah, like, I feel like people don't understand actors reflect real life, and a 16-year-old in a bedroom with her boyfriend, that happens every day. Like, that's all I'm doing is trying to tell a story. You know what I mean? It's not me. It's a character. Yeah. But that season, you know, I did a good amount of episodes or whatever, but still people were like, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that. And now, like, to have the leading role, it's like,
okay, wait, stop.
Say what?
Stop.
Okay.
Jump back.
Okay.
Stop. But just wanted to give us more. We're coming back. Okay, so after college, where did you move? Kind of like, what did you start to do after that? Because like I said, we've seen you in the shop, but you've been in multiple things. I even hit you up after a couple things that I saw that I didn't even know you were in until I watched it. So Howard's like, okay, Howard's over, now what for Birgundi?
Okay, so after Howard, I planned on staying in DC, but the theater scene, because, you know, musical theater, so my mind is like on musical theater. The theater scene, it was just so hard to get into. I mean, there were some of our teachers that were still trying to break into the theater scene, and they have been living in DC for so long. And I was just like, I need to make money now. I need to, you know, do this now. And my whole plan was always to do TV. I just thought you had to do theater first. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was just like, that's the way that it goes. Like, TV is like the end goal, you know. But I just knew it was going to be a struggle in DC. I wasn't going to New York. I'm from the South. I'm from North Carolina. And even visiting New York, like going for an audition, it's just so stressful. Like, the train is expensive. It's so many people. I was like, I'm not going to New York. Mm-hmm. California, to me, was just like the end goal. It was like the end of the road. Like, I can't move to California till I make it. You know what I mean? So I didn't really know what to do. And I had a friend tell me, why don't you try Chicago? And I had never heard anything about Chicago as far as television or film or theater. And he was like, they have both. It's like they have their own little thing going on. You might not really hear about it, but they have a good amount of shows and a good amount of theaters, and they use the same actors over and over. So I'm like, okay, and he lives in Chicago. So I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I stayed in Chicago for a little while, and I wasn't really getting anything. So I needed to get a job. Well, remember, I took classes at John Casablanca when I was 9. So I hit up John Casablanca, and I'm like, I got my degree now. I can teach. So they said, okay, come over here and teach. So we had some visitors come in from a showcase called the Launch Showcase. And they came to me and they said, okay, if you have any students that you think are really good, send them over to this showcase where we have agents and managers watch actors, singers, dancers. So I'm picking students, you know, I think you should go. And one of the parents agreed, like, yeah, well, I'll let my daughter go. So I'm getting this girl ready to go to Launch Showcase. She's in high school. I'm training her every day, giving her private lessons, trying to make sure when she gets there, she gets an agent. Well, you know, high schoolers, they still learning themselves. They really don't know what they want to do. So she decides at the last minute, she doesn't want to go to the showcase anymore. She wants to play soccer. So the money that was spent in having her go to the showcase, her parents are like, well, we already paid for it. She doesn't want to go. We're not going to make her go. Why don't you go? Okay. So I went and I got I got an agent and a manager, and it was on from there.
Thank you, little girl who wanted to play soccer.
Right. Thank you, God. Like, it just happened like that. But I moved to Chicago, got an agent and a manager, and that's really when things started popping off.
Okay, so you get this agent. So what is the first thing that you get and kind of do while you're in Chicago?
Empire.
So how was that?
It was good. I mean, it was a really small role. I had one line. But it wasn't about the line. It was about being on set and watching like how things work and how people treat each other and like what you're supposed to do, you know. So it was great. I had one line and it was reoccurring, so I was able to do like 3 episodes. One episode I don't think I had any lines, but I was more so just watching and just learning and just getting used to being on set, you know. And then my next thing was Chicago PD, and it went from, I had one line on Empire, Chicago PD, I had like a whole scene. And then my next thing, it was, I mean, and that was the whole thing with Chicago. It's like they use actors over and over so you can really grow, you know, just bopping around on the different shows in Chicago. Yeah, and then the shot came and I was like, I'm tired of these one-liners. I'm tired of, this was a reoccurring role, so I was like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this.
So how was that process? Because like, honestly, you know how like these shows kind of come and go and they kind of pop up out of nowhere. So like, what about this show kind of drew you to it, and what kind of made you really want to be a part of it once you know heard about it?
Okay. This show, I had already heard about the show coming out like a year before. Some stuff happened where they didn't go, they shot it and it didn't happen the way they wanted it to happen. And so they were going to reshoot it. And so to me, I was like, this is a sign, because I wasn't living in Chicago the first time that they shot this. And now I'm here and it's the opportunity. I'm like, okay, so this is the opportunity. And my passion is true stories and drama. So the fact that they wanted to really like represent these real lives through this drama really stuck out to me. And I remember the breakdown saying that the character loved her brother and had a very special relationship with her brother. And I had all
he looks like he's a real little brother. It is so freaky.
I know. I'm like, something ain't adding up. But I had auditioned for all these roles where it was like a 16-year-old girl living in the hood, and it just seemed so shallow. It just seemed like, okay, we seeing the same thing over and over. But when they threw in, she really loves her brother, she really takes care of her brother, it just gave it a whole different like color. And I was really interested in showing like that hood girl that was still sweet and had a good relationship with her family and made good grades. You know what I mean? It was just, she's an interesting character because she's not really a product of her environment, but she is. It just seems so real. And I just really want to do something that was really, really real. And also like this young Black girl gave me an opportunity to represent for other young Black girls. And I feel like that's my job. Like that's my calling. So
how was it being on the set? Because now you said go from like, you know, maybe a line here or there, or, you know, no lines at all, to now it's like, no, you are a regular within the show. And how was that? Like, how was your experience? Did you get any kind of like, because I always wonder how it is for people when like you come from one thing and move into another and people really start to recognize it. Just, like, a lot of old classmates hit you up. Like, how was like family? How was it now having people say, oh, I know you're that girl from such and such. Like, how was that process?
It was good. I mean, nothing crazy has happened. Like, nothing too crazy. I mean, mostly I get a lot of young girls messaging me, asking me for advice. That's the main thing. Or like, you know, if you have any time, can I ask you questions? And I love that. You know, I feel like that's the whole purpose of doing this is, you know, to help and to be an example. But that's the main thing that's changed. As far as being on set, it's completely different. You're more important. You know what I mean? Like, they care about what you have to say, and how you feel is vital to the work that's being done that day. So yeah, it's completely different.
Now, you said we can go back, and you said people were actually calling you, and why were they so appalled by the fact that you had to do that scene, or you did a scene here and there? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think when you're watching TV and you see somebody naked on TV, and it's just another actor, I think you may be detached from it. But when you know the person, it's kind of like, and I think people thought I felt like I gotta do this, like I gotta get naked for my big break, and I didn't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
So I think people were just kind of concerned, I guess, and I think I look so much younger than what I am that people sometimes forget, like, I can make my own choices, you know. Girl, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why, but that's how they felt, and I guess they felt the need to reach out. But like I said, I just waited. I was just like, nah, you just wait. You know what I mean? Like, I had a good feeling about it. I never felt like, oh, this isn't something I should be doing. I trusted that the show was going to pop, you know? And that I was going to pop, and that I was going to keep coming back, and it wouldn't be just that one thing. It was so much more than that, you know?
Yeah. So how is it like, you know, working with this cast people that you're working with? Because I kind of feel like, for the most part, I mean, you have a few kind of breakout people here and there, like on the show, but people were kind of already known from other projects. So how is it like, you know, working with some of these folks and working with Lena? Like, how was this whole, you know, process been?
It's amazing.
Oh, and someone said you nailed the role, period. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Her name is Rhea.
It's amazing. I have no complaints. I mean, me and Alex, Kevin, who plays my little brother, that's really like my little brother. Like, we argue, we play, we're there for each other. The lady who plays my mom, same thing. Like, I go to her for advice. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I learned so much from these people. I learned a lot from the woman who plays my mom. She, every time, like, she kills it every time. She's like, I can't wait till y'all see her this season. I can't wait. Like, she does a beautiful job with everything she does. And then Alex, because he's so young, he doesn't really care as much about what people think. He just he gets on camera and he just does it. And every time I'm like, that's what I need to be doing. Stop thinking so much. Just do it. Like these little kids are. Like, they just get up there and they just do it and they have fun.
Good.
They're so good because they're not stressing about it. Yeah. And I think that's the perk of being a little kid. But every time I'm in a scene with him, he reminds me, like, just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it.
Oh, sorry. Someone asked, so what advice would you give to get in?
Well, I mean, the way to do it is to send in your headshots and resume. If you know someone that's with the agency that you want to be with, then you can have them make a recommendation for you. But most of the time, just sending in your headshots and resume is the only way. And if they need someone that's like your type, they'll reach out to you. I recommend doing a showcase. That's what I did, but I would just say be careful, do your research, and make sure that it's a legit showcase.
Oh,
okay. I'll let you read it.
I know, it was too fast. I was trying to read. It was so long. How long does it take for you to prepare for a scene? The person who just said that, could you try to send it again? But this one is, how long does it take you to prepare for a scene?
Well, it depends on what kind of scene it is and how soon do I get the scene. Because I don't like to prepare too early in advance because I feel like it gets stale. When you keep practicing it over and over, it's like it doesn't come out as natural. But I definitely don't wait to the last minute. Like, I hate being in a position where, like, I don't know the lines or I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, that's so embarrassing. So I'm always prepared. But if the scene is, like, really short and cute, then I'll do it, like, 2 days before. But yeah, but if the scene is, like, dramatic and heavy, then I need a couple days. And then I also need to get to set early the day of and mentally prepare and meditate on how I'm going to get this emotion out. So it just depends on, like, how dramatic the scene is and how many lines I have.
So jump back to the shot, how has it been, like, how's your relationship with Lena and how was that whole process? Because I know sometimes you have a person who may, like, be a writer, may be involved a little bit at the beginning, like, while you guys are going through, like, what is that, trying to make sure your show gets picked up, but then once it gets picked up, they're, like, more in the back. So
yeah, that's exactly how it is. Yeah, I mean, Lena's great. I mean, Lena's also popping right now. She's very busy. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't get a lot of time to just like chat with her and, you know, collaborate. You don't get a lot of time to do that. Like a lot of my conversations with Lena have been through the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but yeah, she's supportive but yeah, you don't really get like too much one-on-one. That's more so like with the director.
Mm-hmm.
So
who would you say is like your favorite person to do a scene with, and like the hardest person? Like, who is that person you like, bro, sis, you don't know your lines, you are killing me? Like, is anybody like
oh
that?
my gosh, it's nobody that never knew their lines, but I will say Jacob. His energy, he's so bubbly. He sings all the time. He laughs all the time. And if you are ever in a scene with him where you got to be serious, it's very hard.
Oh God.
But nobody like doesn't know their lines or don't know what they're supposed to be doing or nothing like that. But I will say it's hard to keep a serious face with him. I mean, also with Alex, because we have a lot of inside jokes. So it's just hard to stay serious.
Scene or a scenario that probably was like the hardest for you with both of them.
Okay. So one scene, we were supposed to open up the scene laughing. Just like open up, just laughing. You know, like nothing specific happening to make us laugh. And it got to the point where we were kind of like fake laughing, like, ha, 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 ha. So the director was like, okay, Jacob, come up with some jokes, you know, so the laughs can be real. And so every take was like a different joke, and we're eating at the same time. So it's like food flying everywhere, and we laughing, and we don't know what's going to come out his mouth. I can't say jokes, but we don't know what's going to come out his mouth. But that just makes it all the more real, you know? Yeah. He's definitely like that character that like breaks the drama, like gives you like a comedic relief.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, so yes, we know that you are the lead, and that's up and coming this year. But from the shot, kind of what happened next with your career, and kind of what were you in after that, and then we're going to kind of circle back around to season now with 3.
I was trying to read it, but
how early in advance do you normally? I think it said get your script before having to tape a scene.
Oh, before having to tape a scene. You can get it like.
Someone said early.
Early. Like, no. How long in advance? No, not early.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually pretty late. Like, you usually have about 2 days to get it in. Yeah, they don't give them out too early. It's usually like, as soon as you get it, it's due.
You gotta learn it.
Yeah.
So, now you're on the shot. This is like a big thing for you. But again, like I said, I've seen you in quite a few things after that. So kind of what was like the next thing? Because you were hoping Shy would help you pop, and it kind of did. So what kind of happened next?
Okay, so after the shot, I did a show called Heathers, and it was on Paramount. What I loved about Heathers was it was my first time being able to use my musical theater on TV, because it was a musical television show. So we would go in the studio and record our songs first, and then we would go on set. And they would play the song, and we would, you know, act as the song was playing. After Heathers, this feels like so long ago. I don't even know. I did a play at Steppenwolf. After that, I did a movie called Holla. After that, I did...
like this, you can't keep track of all this stuff.
It just feels like so long ago. Like the Shy has been the most recent thing. We've been working on it for so many months. Like, and anything else was just kind of like I would leave for a couple of days to go do it and then come right back. I did Black Lightning. I did a show called Station 19.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Black Lightning, because it's not really like you did Black Lightning. You kind of still do it.
Yeah.
Keep calling you back for like different things, because I was just watching the episode from like this week. Your voice was in it your face wasn't, but they were talking to you. So your character is kind of still like in it. How did that whole thing happen?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about Black Lightning. I screen tested to be the sister on Black Lightning years ago. Mm-hmm. And it didn't go through. It was like for 5 days, they were just like, we don't know. Like, it was me and China, and we were just in there just like, pick somebody. And it didn't go through. And I ended up doing the Shy, and Black Lightning called back and was like, okay, well, that didn't happen, but we have something for you. If you want to audition to do this part, we would like to have you. So the connection was already kind of there. Mm-hmm. Getting on Black Lightning. And then I think the writer just did such a good job of creating this world of the Purdy people. Like, honestly, I feel like that whole situation with the Purdy and the Sanjay could be a whole different show itself. Like, it's so interesting to see the magical powers of these Black people and how they don't like these white people. And like, with the babies have the magical power. I just feel like the writers did such a good job, and that's why they keep calling back, is because it's a really interesting story.
Oh, it really is. And they really haven't completely like teased out that whole idea, but you kind of know that there's, from the show, like so much background history going on with these people who live in these woods and you don't really know. Mm-hmm. Did you need an agent to get your first role? Yeah. I did. It's hard getting roles, y'all. Like, if anybody tells you that they just go inside of audition and don't have the agent, don't have a manager or representation, and they just got it, like, they were very, very blessed and very lucky. And I don't know how they even made it in the door, but yeah, you pretty much need an agent to get started. So you did Tales, and Tales is an interesting show for me because it's supposed to be like linked to a song. So even after episode, I'm just like, what is this about? Like,
it's like they use the song for inspiration, and then they just write their own spin off of the song.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, because it was like, what was he? He was a vampire, and then like you were like an artist. So like, how was that being on like that set? Was that your first time doing something with BT? Because I know you did a movie with TV One. Because I actually did an interview with that.
Yeah, actually, kind of the same thing with Black Lightning. The connection was already there because I screen tested for American Soul.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of they had already knew who I was, and I kind of already been in the room. But Tales was just like, I just felt like that girl was me. Like, she was like kind of quiet, but not kind of quiet. And she was an artist, and she was really like different from the people that she hung around. She wasn't afraid. She lived in this crazy world where but she wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
And that story, I had never heard that story before. And actually, like a week before that, I saw a meme that was like, how come we don't have any Black vampires? How come we don't have any Black monsters or anything? Like, people think that only white people like that vampire stuff or that dark stuff. And I was like, that's true. We don't really have any Black girls that are like weird and dark and like vampire stuff. So then that thing came out, and I was like, okay, I want to do it. Like, I want to do this thing that hasn't really been done,
Yeah, I can
so, yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah, for someone who just jumped in, I think this is Renee Kelly. Hi, Renee. That's my PR person. She want to know how you got into acting, and she touched on that in the beginning of the interview. You want to like do a quick, I guess, synopsis on it, and we'll get back.
Oh yeah, my family. I come from a family of performers, so ever since I was little, we would go see plays and things like that. And my mother put me in lessons at John Casablanca when I was young, and I entered a contest, and it was just on from there.
Okay, so now what would you say, then we kind of get an idea of what you've done and been doing. What would you say has been your favorite role thus far? Why?
Definitely The Shy. Definitely specifically this upcoming season, because I feel like it's the role that has the most meaning. I can't say like what's happening, but
Birgundi, you know we want to know, because I'm like, you told us don't come out till like July or June.
Yeah,
like,
we got a while. we got a while before it comes out, but it's definitely the most meaningful. Like, I feel like when it comes to being an artist, you always look for roles that have meaning, like roles that you feel like is going to change somebody's life or encourage somebody. And I feel like this season, this character gave me the opportunity to do that more than any other play or TV show.
So how was that? Because it was like, I saw like the flower, but like, I know how, I want to know too, if Bergie won't tell us. It was kind of like, you kind of see the progression of each character, and kind of how things started to happen. And then now it's like, we all know something took place, and now it's like the kind of like characters are shifting. So how was it when you kind of got your script and read and was like, oh shit, this is about me?
When I got my script, I cried. I cried when I got my script, and I was like, we have to do this, because they called me and they were like, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think? And I was just like, we have to. I was like, thank you for allowing me to do this, because it's never been done. And I think, like I said, I think my purpose is to be an example for young Black girls, and this is going to do that.
What do you think? Of course, I think I want to be the lead of this show, but thanks for asking.
Yeah, but it wasn't just about being the lead. It was about telling this story.
Whatever this story is, you won't tell us. You can't give like a hint, like anything, like, okay, she'll be something.
No. I can't.
Oh, God.
No. They'll be so mad. I
don't want to get you in trouble. But
yeah.
You said this one was like very practical. So have you guys started like shooting, and how has that process been thus far? Because I know we got some time, but
we're done. Right? Like, we're in post-production. Like, every now and then we get called in to go back and fix a couple of things with like audio, because sometimes the sound doesn't match up with the scene. Like, if we're shooting outside and a train goes by, then you can't hear us. So we got to go back in and fix the sound and re-say it in the microphone. But other than that, we're done. We're completely done. We're just waiting for it to come out.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this new season. I think it's going to be really good. You have any new projects coming?
Nope. Nope. I'm contracted with The Shy. So other than that, and Black Lightning as well. Nope.
So someone said, do you have to, I think it says Julie said, do you have to cry on command for any of your scenes?
On command? No, not on command. Like, they give you the scene beforehand. So, and they'll say in there, like, if it doesn't say she comes to tears, you can read it and tell like how dramatic it is. You can be like, okay, they want me to cry, you know. So I just go in early and just prepare and just, you know, listen to my music and think about sad stuff all day, so that by the time we actually get in front of the camera, then, you know, it just happens. But I've never been in a situation where it's like, I didn't know they wanted me to cry and they asked me to cry. They always make it pretty clear, you know.
Okay. And we just got a question. I think it said Ozzy. She wanted to know if you had an actor or actress that you wanted to work with. I know you said earlier that, that inspires you. Earlier you said you would love to work with Viola Davis. So for y'all who missed that. But now we want to know who inspires you, actor or actress.
Okay, so definitely Viola Davis. I love Bianca Lawson. I love Alfre Woodard. Those are like my top.
And why would you say that's your top? Like, what did you see to say, nope, this is not my favorite?
Okay, so the same thing I was saying about Viola Davis is like, I feel like they can play any role, like any character, but each time they still bring an element of themselves to it. And then what I love about Bianca Lawson is she's managed to like maintain over time. Like, she came out a long time ago when she was very young, and then through all these years, she's managed to just keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really see that often. Not with like this generation. Like, we got old heads that we've been seeing for years and years, but for somebody to sustain for so long, yeah, I like that about her. And I mean, she's just raw, you know, she's real. I like Zoe Kravitz. I think she's raw too. Yeah.
Someone gonna ask, are you still auditioning? She just said she was contracted. Please don't try to get her in trouble. I'm going to be like, yes, I'm auditioning.
No, the thing is, like, when you have a contract, you can still audition for movies, though. So, yes, I still am auditioning for movies.
If you weren't contracted, is there a show that you would want to audition for, if you could?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I don't know if this is like real or not, but I seen something come out that said Issa Rae was making a show about female rappers, and I was like, damn.
That would be dope. Can you still do like any theater? Cause see, I don't know if you guys know, but like when she kind of mentioned that she sings and she dances, I don't know if you've ever seen anything of her singing and dancing, but she does that just as well as she acts. So it's kind of like, would you be able to bring that? Are you going to do any singing or dancing this season?
No.
Do they know that you can sing and dance? I mean, like,
I don't think so.
You gotta tell them. So they can I can like maybe do a little like something. Maybe you and Jacob do like some random thing one day where y'all both are singing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The show this season is so dark. Like, it's very dramatic. So I don't know if we bust out with a dance or a song. Huh?
Somebody asked me to sing for us.
Oh, sure.
So finish your point and then we're gonna have you sing.
The show is like so dark that I think if we bust out with a song or dance, it would be weird. You know? It would be weird. So I don't know if there's any singing or dancing in the future of the show, but
maybe season 4 we'll get back around to happy. Maybe it'll be light and then you could toss it in there somewhere.
Maybe.
Okay, so someone asked what's your like your genre, like your favorite for movies. But if you're gonna sing, you can go ahead and sing a little bit for us.
I would love to, but can I just do
Okay, so you run and you guys send your questions in so we can get them back for when she changes her shirt or takes the shirt off. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you're enjoying. This is, like I said at the beginning of this episode, the first of many. Oh, my cousin was running with you last season. Oh, okay, well, that's cool. That's good for you to know, Birgundi. Somebody was running with you when you were doing that scene. And thank you guys so much. Again, let me know if you're enjoying. Leave some comments and tell me like, hey, I like this. Because for people who I can't, she's back. For people who I can't.
I'm back. I hope this is appropriate. I can't. It's hot here in California.
Yes, rub it in because we're cold here on the East Coast. It is not hot at all and raining. So it's kind of like, if you like this, drop some hearts, drop some comments saying, hey, you want to see more of these with different folks. Because for me, if you guys don't know, you're new to the show, I'm out of D.C. As you know, Birgundi is in California right now, which is why we have this whole time frame thing happening. But for people who I can't physically get to as easy, I will definitely try to reach out to these folks and do these if you enjoy them. Okay. Now you're going to sing.
Oh, sure. Okay, let me sit down.
Oh.
You got
Oh, Lord, she done stood up.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Ma'am.
All of this time I planned I'd be patient and you would love me again. You'd come to respect my mind. At last you'd find you could love me again. And I have turned my whole world upside down. Try not to let you go. Watching you walk away is like a fatal blow.
Your poor neighbors. Woo! They were like, Birdie in there, sing it again. They like, sing it again. Oh, that was so great. Thank you so much for singing for us. Like I said, and for you missed it in the beginning, Birdie had a background and singing and dancing. And when, like I said, when we kind of like first met or whatever, knew each other, we were in school, she was in musical theater and she did, we didn't really do, well, y'all had one musical a year. So you did get to do, some musicals or whatever, but she got to actually sing and dance. So I don't know how Harry is about keeping like that footage all tight, but if you guys can find it, I don't know if you can find it or not, but she's great. You got a little preview here. So look at all your love. Just say yes, sing, all that stuff. So at this point, I just want to know, what would you say is kind of something that like people don't know about you? Because again, you know, you can see somebody on TV and you can have the like relationship with them, but you don't actually know them. So like, what's one quirky, interesting thing about you?
I love to write.
What kind of things you write?
I like to write poetry. I'm working on a script right now with two of my friends. Yeah, I love to play volleyball. That's like something that I've missed a lot, and I wish that I had more time to actually join the team and play every day. Yeah.
Okay, cool, nice. So if anybody's thinking about ever trying to send Birgundi something, I guess some sort of notepad, something good, a good pen, and volleyball would be good for her. And I know you have a heart out, but I just want to say, what kind of thing would you give advice to? Because I always kind of ask people and say, like, okay, well, you got to this point. How would you advise somebody who wants to be either, you know, an actress like you, or just wants to do something and they're kind of at a kind of crossroad trying to decide about whether they should take that leap or not? What would you say?
I would say jump right into it. Give it your all. All the things that you don't want to do, like taking class and spend money on headshots and a coach and audition and sending your headshots and resume, all the things you don't want to do it. Like, there are no shortcuts. There's no easy way. I would say that you know yourself better than anyone else. There are going to be a lot of no's. There are going to be people telling you that you can't do it. There are going to be people telling you that you shouldn't. And you just got to keep going if you know that's what you really want to do.
Awesome. And almost everybody says the same thing. So I've come to the conclusion that just do it is the only advice that you can kind of give somebody, because I've heard that literally all of season 1, starting with 2 and season 2. I have heard it again. So do whatever you guys want to do. If that's like you're kind of at a crossover, then do it. If your daughter, I don't know, like kind of like what she's into now, but if she ever comes and says like, I want to get into this, knowing what you know, would you let her? And kind of like, what would you tell her?
I would definitely let her.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely tell her the same thing I said, like, just go do it. But make sure you know yourself well enough. Because your skin has to be thick enough and your mind has to be strong enough to be able to keep going after people say no. Mm-hmm. Or after people tell you that you shouldn't do it. So I would just make sure that she knows herself well enough and that she's strong enough to stand in it. But definitely just go do it. Just dive into it.
And one question I've like kind of had from my own, just wanting to know, how would you say it is being a Black actress? Because I mean, I know like you hear things about being typecast, or like in your case, you always say, I look so young. I look young, you look young. I hear this all the time. But do you run into any of that, and kind of how do you combat that while you're out here, you know, auditioning in these roles?
How do I combat like looking young?
If there's any, like negative things about like, you know, being Black or like being young or having a certain look, you know, compared to, I guess, what they're used to Black women looking like.
I don't try to combat that. It is what it is. I can't change my skin tone. I can't change the way I look. I can't change the way I sound. I can't change. There's nothing. So if anybody have anything to say, like, that's what they have to say. You know what I mean? And the same way that you could say, oh, you're too dark for this role, or you look too young for this role. Well, there's a role out there that's perfect for me because I'm dark or because I look young. So it's just, you kind of just got to pick and choose what you listen to. And in the same way somebody can use something for negative, you have the power to turn that into a positive. Yes, there aren't as many roles out there for Black women, especially dark-skinned women. Yes, there are not a lot of roles out there for young women. Like, a lot of the good roles are like seasoned older women, but you have to put in your work. That's it. Like, you can't let it not be in a lot of roles stop you, or being too dark stop you. You put in the work. And I believe that actors get to a point where nothing matters. Like, they make a name for themselves, and the name is so strong in the industry that they got it because of who they are. But that, like I said, like, you got to know who you are, and you got to put in the work. I don't try to combat that. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, putting the name out there, and it's going to be putting in the work. That is what you're doing right now. So for those who don't know or didn't know, Birgundi Baker, this is who you're watching this interview with. She is doing amazing things and going to continue to do great things. As always, as you might have heard from this interview, you've been doing great things. So wish you nothing but the best of
Thank you.
Whenever you let me find out about what's going on in season 3 of The Chi. I'll definitely be watching. I hope everybody at home be watching. You guys should be able to know where you can follow her at, but just in case anybody is missing, let them know your handle, your website. And again, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for asking me. Thank you. And thank you for everybody that joined and asked questions. Like, it really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Really, all I have is my Instagram. And it's Birgundi_Baker. And thank you again.
Black Lightning spinoff. Let's make that happen.
Hey, speak it. Speak it.
Yeah, so I'm like, that would be a great show. Again, thank you so much. The next Viola, you heard it first. There you
Speak
go.
that
You heard
too.
it
Thank
first.
you.
So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching, and like she said, sending your questions. Again, if you like this, go ahead when I post this later, and I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel, which is Tori Talk with Catori Langley, and you can be able to find this on IGTV as well. But just make sure you leave me a comment and say, oh, I like this, I didn't like that, and let me know who you want to talk to next. My PR person is on right now, so if they drop some names, Renee, you're going to see if we can try to make that happen. But again, thanks so much. And
thank you
talk
too.
To you soon, and see you all soon. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.